Hello everyone, it's Mary. Welcome back to the channel. We are going to be doing a product review today. So I'm going to be looking at the Lisa Horton Multiuse. No, that's not at all what it's called. I'm going to be looking at the Lisa Horton Ultimate 2 Multi-Use Tool. Try to say that at least once. We're going to have a good time looking at this. I'm excited about it. A definite disclaimer up front. This is a great tool for someone who wants to consolidate, save space, a new crafter. It has a multitude of different tools in one, and so I'm really excited to show it to you because, as you know from my channel, I like saving space, I like saving time, I like saving money. So this tool is pretty cool. So let's get right into it and I'll get to show it to you. Alright crafty friends, let's take a look at this Ultimate 2 multi-tool from Lisa Horton. So I'm going to unbox this and I'm going to talk about all the attributes. Now I'm not going to do voiceover the whole time. I'm actually going to go live-ish, quote unquote, with you from my craft desk here in just a minute. But I did want to make mention of this really cool case that it comes in. It's like fabric. And it has little buttons here. So I have to say I've purchased a lot of tools before, so notch up for that this gives you a nice little storage case that you can go mobile with it because it's pretty thick and it looks like it would protect it pretty well. So let's go over to Live Craft Desk Mary. Okay, so I want to now talk about each individual piece of this. This is incredible. I know I shouldn't say that before I tell you about the mat, but pretty amazing. Okay, so let's talk about this. So this is the Ultimate 2 multi-tool. And I'm going to show you everything that comes with it. Okay, so first of all, you have the grid on this side all the way around. You have a blank side here. We'll get to why that's in comparison to the other side in a second. You have this very thick silicone mat. This is really high quality silicone mat with grid. You have a blank side as well. Maybe you want to do some ink blending. So you have this here that sits right up against these pegs. Now the idea for these pegs is that you can do stencil layering. So right here we have the stencils. They're numbered right here up in the upper right hand corner, and they go 1 through 7. Now this particular set is also from Lisa Horton, and so you can get this as well, but definitely designed to work with it. So what that means is, we'll demonstrate in just a second, but you put your cardstock down and then you put this stencil piece right into the pegs. Now, and when I do this, I'll place it the correct way, or where the butterflies are facing me, but you put them in these pegs and then you can just move right on to the next, right? So a couple things are really great about that. One, you don't have to tape down your stencils anymore with this peg system. So when you put it in there, you can just get to stenciling. Another great thing is it's always going to be in the same exact spot. So let's say we peel up our stencil and we notice that we missed a spot, we can just lay it right back down and we're good to go. All right, so that is an incredible attribute to this. So this is this part right here, but one thing that I've seen on other tools that don't have it, that is your ability to make any of your stencils fit in this peg system. And so I'll demonstrate that as well. You're going to be able to cut this die through your stencils and run it through your die cutting machine, and you're going to be able to get any stencil you already have to lay into this peg system. That is incredible because now, you know me, get the most out of your supplies. You're going to be able to maximize with what you already have, and you don't have to necessarily buy things that already have the pegs. Holes. Okay, so that's this side of it for. Now, let's not forget, this is a silicone mat, very high quality silicone mat, which means you can heat on it, you can ink smush on it, you can get it dirty, you can wash it. That's all great. The only thing you can't do on a silicone mat really is cut on it. So you want to make sure this is not a cutting tool. You want to make sure you're careful of that. All right, so now let's do a switch over because there's more to this, much, much more. So now we're going to switch over to the other side and we have a scoring place. Now what's awesome about this scoring place is the size of it. So I can take out one of my slimline cards, and here we have, if I wanted to score, I'm going to tell you because I'm still, I still have it, but I'm going to compare it real quick. I can't get this all the way down to the bottom on here. So I'm like super geeked out because although it didn't stop me from crafting, I don't want to be over dramatic. However, this is really nice that I don't have to worry about that. I can go straight down all the way to the bottom. So that's cool. But you can do that, or you can score in the other side as well. So let's say we're scoring this side because we're going to do top folding, right? You can do that. That fits. Right here would be the score line. Okay. All right. So we have scoring options, but it comes with your scoring tool also. So let me show you how you get into that. So on the sides here, you're going to have a slide to open here and a slide to open here. One side is going to fit. So all you do is you're going to open this up. You're going to open this up right here and put your tools in there, close it, flip it around, open this side, put your tools in there, close it, all right? And when I say tools, you're going to have two different areas. So in one side, I pulled out these stylus tools with 3 heads, okay? So you have a really, really sharp one, a small, tiny ball, and then I would say probably that's the largest of the ball. And then you have your tool on the other side. Okay, so are you sitting down? Because this, this is really cool. On one side of your stylus, of your tool here, you're going to have obviously the stylus, so you're going to be able to score. So what am I talking about? For example, if this wasn't already scored, this would be here, and I would go ahead and score it right down the center at 3.5, boom, and we're good to go, right? So that's the scoring side of it. But on the other side of it is your wax piece to pick up your embellishments. Like, cool? Like, that's so cool. Because personally, this is my favorite kind of tool to pick up embellishments. It picks up paper, it picks up plastic, jewels, all the things. So that's incredible. Okay, so that's great. And basically, this really is an ultimate set. There's one thing I didn't mention, I'll go back to it, and that is that because this is so thick and such a good quality, you can actually get better stamped images when you stamp on top of something that has a little cushion or a little give. And so that is really great. So you can stamp right on top of here if you're not using like your stamping positioner already. So keep that in mind. So that's a really great addition. So yeah, this, I have to say, I give this high ratings. Obviously, I'm not in the business of saying buy excess. If you have all tools separated that do this one thing, then keep using what you have. But if you are in the market for something that's sort of all in one, or if you're starting off in crafting, this gets very high ratings from me. All right, we get it, right? So let's actually see this thing in action. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm actually going to show you what I was talking about before with using the die that it comes with to get those holes to fit on the pegs for your stencils. So I'm going to take out this Tim Holtz stencil here. This is the Raise stencil, and I'm going to place this right on top. You want to make sure that you are putting tape on this to hold it straight, or else it's just going to make your stenciling process a whole lot more interesting if it's crooked. So I'm going to run that through over my die cutting machine, and then we are going to come back and see how, now it die cuts beautifully. So just ran it through once and I got my holes. We are good to go. So we can start using this immediately. You want to make sure that you don't have a lot of excess on the opposite side of those holes, opposite to the stencil, because there's not a lot of room on that tool to put down your stencil with the pegs. You see what I'm saying? On the left hand side, there's not much room. So if you do, you just trim away some of that excess on your stencil if there is any, and you are good to go. Now, I stenciled with this pretty much, was having a great time all day. I didn't have to put any tape even on the bottom cardstock. It's a silicone foundation there, and so the card's not going to be shifting around. I did, just because I was probably, fear-based, I did put my fingers on the stencil a little bit to hold it, just in case. But I really didn't have to use tape. I didn't have to use tape on the stencil, so it was working really well. Okay, let's get into this layering stencil business. So you can purchase separately the Lisa Horton layered stencils. There are so many on the site, really, really pretty. This one's the butterfly one. So I'm going to see what this looks like once we get all of these. Now, you do not have to use all, I think it's 7 stencils in there, but it's just so cool that everything is already lined up and works for you. You place them into the pegs you don't have to think about it. It goes right over your project. So I'm going to start with some light pinks. I actually thought that pink was a lot lighter than it turned out to be. I think that's even a purple color. But we're going to go and just kind of play with this. You can use any colors you want. You can, I don't do it in this video, but don't, you know, take out of the running your embossing paste, your glitter embossing paste, like all those things you can use with your stencils to really give that card an extra pop. And so I'm going back through, there's so many pieces to these butterflies here. There's so many details that they add. I think so fun. I don't have any layering stencils. This is my first set. So this was really, really fun to play with. I thought I was going to keep it in the pink and purple hue, but I decided to get a little squirrely, and I went and pulled out my peacock feathers. We got this beautiful turquoise aqua color, and we're going to start to see all of this come together. So I'll tell you right now, again, first time using layered stencils, but not only having the layered stencil process, but the peg system really does work. It's really, really great. And it's not, you know, when you have layering stuff, you have to like really be meticulous about lining things up and making sure, you know, everything is just perfect-ish. And this just really kind of took the guesswork out of it. So a lot of great things to say about the actual way that it's set up. So we get that down. Now I'm using oxide inks. Because I'm putting color on top of color, I recommend oxide inks for that. If it was dye inks, they might blend a little bit in and not show up as well. But that's why you're seeing such a contrast in color. And because they're oxide, they're going to stay a little wet for me. So I'm going to go in there and use some clear glitter embossing powder. And I'm just going to place it all. My heat gun is warming up at this point, and I'm just going to pour it all over there. And get that covered. Now it looks like it's subduing the color quite a bit, but that's only because the powder is still loose. Once we heat set it and the powder gets locked in there by melting, you're going to see that these butterflies come back to life with some really vibrant color. So I love this process. I kept it in here. You've probably most have seen heat embossing, but it's still so magical. And you know, 'tis the season. Okay. Now I have my embossing done, and you can't, definitely the camera does not do it justice, but they are sparkly and glittery and so, so pretty. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to take out some really fun embellishments to add to this card. I'm going to use my picket fence silver pearls, and those are flat on one side and rounded on the opposite side. The rounded side is much shinier than the other. And so you're going to place down the glue, and then I'm just going to use that same tool, the wax end, and I'm going to pick up my embellishments. I've been using a tool like this for a very long time. They range anywhere from $5, $6 to $30. Obviously, I recommend the lower end one because it's the same, but to have this already in your tool, and let's say you've been holding off on buying a tool like this because, you know, you're not interested in just purchasing that, this comes with it, so I think it's really cool. So I'm just going to add those pearls right to my butterfly, and we are going to just watch this card come together. Now, if you didn't notice, off screen, I did take a little bit of that first pink color and I placed it around the edge of this card just to take away a bit of that stark white color or lack of color. So I just wanted to make sure that it kind of gave a soft kind of glow around the end. Okay. So we get that done. And then the next thing we're going to do is just add our sentiment. So I had this sentiment already made up. These are my favorite sentiments, the kind that have the background, and then you can do, they're die cuts, and then you can die cut separately the front. So I have that bubble piece in black cardstock and the thanks in the white. Glue that together and slap it down. This card is finished. All right, so that is it. I hope you enjoyed this quick review. I know that when I'm kind of looking around to purchase something, I like to see it in action. I can get a realistic view of how big it is, how it works. And so for those of you that were looking at this, I hope it was helpful for you to see it. So this item is only at scrapbook.com for a limited time. So if you're interested in that, you can click the link below and check it out and see if it's something that you want to take a closer look at over there. And before I let you go, if you are not already with us on the email community list but would like to be, you can find that link below. When you join, you will see an automatic download for a free printable image download that you can grab and use for coloring or whatever you like. So make sure to do that. Also, there'll be a link below where we can connect in other forums, trying to build up that Instagram. So if you're on the gram, go ahead and follow me there, Mary Polanco Designs. Thanks so much for joining me. I will see you in the comments down below and in the next video. Bye-bye.